One of the most fun parts, but also the most complicated parts of buying an engagement ring is selecting the diamond. The four C's of diamonds, cut, color, clarity, and carat, are how diamonds are graded. We use these to understand what the diamond looks like and some elements of the diamond that you can't even see. So let's break down what each of the C's mean, how to think about them when selecting your diamond, and also how they affect cost. First, we have carat, spelled with a C, not with a K. K is for gold. If you know anything about carat, you probably think carat equals size. And that's not wrong, but carat is technically the measure of weight in the stone, how heavy it is. Two diamonds weighing the same carat weight could technically look different if their proportions are different. So if the diamond is holding more weight at the bottom of the stone than from the top, it's going to look smaller. Carat is obviously going to be a huge impact on price. The bigger the diamond, obviously, the more expensive. You're going to see the biggest jumps when you hit an even carat. So 1, 2, 3. If finding the best value stone is important to you, I recommend looking at a 0.9, a 1.9, a 2.9. Sometimes you'll find diamonds that are much better in value if you're looking at that range. Next, and my personal favorite, let's talk about diamond color. When talking about color, it usually refers to the absence of color within a stone. The less color you see, the more rare it's going to be. The GIA color grading scale goes from D all the way down to Z. But diamonds that fall outside of that range are considered fancy colored diamonds. So that's where you get your pinks, your true yellows, your greens, etc. Those are evaluated very differently. Most commonly, you'll see diamonds in the D to J range. D, E, and F are going to be colorless, meaning they appear very white, bright, and lacking of color. G through J is going to be near colorless, so you might see a hint of color within those. In my years of working in the industry, it really has become clear to me that everyone sees color very differently. Some people are going to be able to pick up on the difference between a D and an E, but most people aren't. A lot of people won't even notice the color from a D to a J. It all depends on the person. Color also becomes increasingly more noticeable the bigger the stone gets. You just have more surface area to kind of see those colors come through. Step cuts, like emeralds and azures, are usually going to display more color than their round relief counterparts, which are really good at dispersing the light and distracting. The mounting style you choose can also affect this. Yellow gold can kind of act in two ways. It can sometimes make the diamond look a little bit yellower if it's picking up on the yellow tones of the setting, but I've also seen it act in a way where it's contrasting the yellowness of the diamond, and it's not as yellow as the yellow gold, so therefore it's almost making it look brighter and whiter. It really just depends on the exact diamond and the exact setting style. Color does have an impact on price. You're going to see a premium between colorless and near colorless stones. It really depends on your individual preferences where you optimize here. I personally love a warm diamond, so I'm more in that near colorless IJ range. But it's most common for people to want white and icy, so a lot of people optimize for the DEF. If you're going for value, G is a great color. G is considered the jeweler's sweet spot. It doesn't necessarily fall into the colorless category, but it isn't really that warm in comparison to an HI or J, really landing in the middle of the D to J scale. So a great value stone. Next, we have diamond clarity. A lot of people actually think of clarity as clear, which equals color, but clarity is going to be more specific to the internal characteristics within the stone. These are called inclusions, as well as the surface flaws, which are called blemishes. The GIA clarity scale goes from flawless to included. Flawless is going to be pristine, nothing in it, nothing externally, literally flawless. But you don't need to get a flawless stone in order to not be able to see anything with the naked eye. I highly recommend the VS range if you want a stone that doesn't have anything that you can see with the naked eye. Stones that are included, you'll probably notice something right away. They go I3, I2, I1. With the exception of emeralds and azures, which you have to start more in the VBS range for that guarantee of nothing you can see. I tend to notice that once people see it, they can't unsee it, but it can be initially kind of hard to spot. Stones that are labeled SI2, SI1, you may or may not notice. The way that these stones are graded and the impact that inclusions have on the stone dramatically depend on their size, the placement, and the type of inclusion. Inclusions can be easily hidden by faceting and sparkle, so depending on their placement, they may or may not be less noticeable. Clarity is one of those grades that really impacts the rarity of the stone. Having a flawless stone is going to be much more uncommon than having a included stone. Because of this, clarity is actually a huge driver of price. So you're often going to see an exponential curve when it comes to the pricing of diamonds in relation to their clarity grade. Finally, we have cut. Cut is going to impact price the least, so it's a really good one to optimize. It also is basically the grade of sparkle, so another good reason to optimize. The cut grade is an assessment on how well the diamond's facets are interacting and dispersing light. That interaction of light is how we get the brilliance in the fire. Brilliance is the internal and external white light that reflects from a diamond, and fire is the scattering of white light that reflects into colors of the rainbow. The proportions, polish, and symmetry are also all really important when grading a diamond. You don't need to look into these things individually when finding the perfect diamond. The cut grade for the stone helps you do that. Most grading agencies have their own scale when it comes to grading the cut of a diamond. At Brilliant Earth, we use specific scale language to help our customers understand the subtle differences. Super Ideal is going to be the most sparkly diamond you can get. After that, we have Ideal, then Very Good, then Good, and then Fair. Again, this one has the least impact on price, so it's a great one to optimize. And there'll often be tons of super ideal diamonds to choose from. Make sure when you're buying a diamond, you are getting it with a grading certificate. The grading certificate should always be from a third party, like the GIA or the IGI. Brilliant Earth Diamonds will always be certified by a third party and a reputable grading agency. And to restate my value tips for 4C selection, for carat, land under a whole number, so a 0.9, a 1.9, a 2.9, etc. For cut, it often doesn't impact cost, so optimize here. Sometimes you're even indirectly optimizing the other characteristics. A well-cut diamond can hide inclusions. It can also make the diamond seem whiter and brighter by being better at dispersing light. So again, my recommendation is to optimize cut. Color really depends on preference, but if you're looking for that neutral sweet spot, go with the G. For clarity, the best value is usually a VS1 or a VS2. You could definitely read about the 4Cs for days on end, but sometimes seeing them in person really helps you further understand what the 4Cs mean. You can make an appointment at any of our showrooms and we'll happily walk you through what the 4Cs mean, and you can get a better understanding of where your preferences are and where you should optimize. Bye.